if EVs are going to grow, it's going to have to include everybody. It can't be just for those exclusive that can have their cars serviced at a dealership. It needs to be inclusive of all of industry and all of people as well. So I think consumers really have to know how important right to repair is to the whole EV growth. Do you want to comment a little bit about that? And what would be your message to government as they're drafting right to repair?
So the message is clear that we need to be cautious about, making sure that all these vehicles gets repaired at the place of your choice. And what I mean by that, and as you pointed out, dealerships may have limited capacity. In fact, one of the claims that we often put forward is there isn't enough service bays in the existing dealership networks to service all the vehicles. Well, our first counterpoint is, guess what? Many of the new emerging automakers, EVs, don't use a traditional dealership network model. So even further enhance the need to be able to access, a wider range of service bays. If you want to accelerate the adoption of EVs, and I guess that's the word to government, if you want to accelerate the adoption of EVs, you need to overcome some of these challenges, and one of which is to ensure there's enough service bays to repair these vehicles. But again, these service bays, if they choose to make the investment in training, technologies, tools, should be allowed to access this information that's needed. Not necessarily an automaker is now going to pick and choose the various partners that they're going to dictate how you're going to fix the cars. So it needs to go further than just saying the automakers needs to provide enough service bays. They need to make a ecosystem that provides for a healthy competition, a competitive marketplace where any independent shop making the investment in the right tools and training and equipment is able to repair the cars. And that's the kind of legislation you need if you want to achieve the goals that governments have set for the deployment of EVs.
I absolutely agree with you. It really has to hit home that if we're going to achieve a circular economy, especially these EVs, the EVs and the batteries themselves have to be sustainable. They have to have an application for remanufacturing, reuse, and even the dismantling and recycling. So the right to repair extends to all those industries.
Yeah. And that's an important case to make, Ken, is, the aftermarket has shown to be very resilient and innovative in creating ways to extend the lifespan of the product we use. In the automotive sector, we know Canadians have chosen to keep their cars longer, and we have at the aftermarket being able to design replacement parts that in fact outlive the original parts, come with different process to repair vehicles. We already know there are people in the aftermarket that are able to go at the cell level into a battery pack and able to extend the life of these battery packs, as opposed to simply replacing the entire battery pack. As you know, residual value of the vehicle being usually tied into that. And so we need to enable that competitive marketplace that creates innovation on the part of aftermarket player to create these solutions so Canadians will be able to keep the cars longer, have a better life cycle for those components, and to your point, be a better contributor to the overall circular economy that ultimately is really what we're trying to achieve with EVs. That I'm not sure we're going to be able to achieve without, robust right to repair.
There are real challenges with that. And interesting about the battery, it comes about 45% of the value of that EV. And we want to sustain the life of that vehicle for as long as possible. But we've heard the horror stories of getting the $20,000 bill for the battery. There are options.